It still amazes me 50 years later what happened here. In less than 3 weeks, the students influenced the President of the United States to create the Peace Corps, a major program. The question for me has always been, and I think about it, why did the students respond the way we did? Why did Tom Hayden, who was the editor-in-chief of the Michigan Daily, respond so quickly to support this new student group led by graduate students he had never met? Why did Millie Jeffrey respond the way she did? Why did students on other campuses react so enthusiastically to what was happening at the University of Michigan campus? And how could all of this happen so quickly? Of course, context is everything. As you saw in the film, in 1960, we were not the students of the 2010. We were known as the quiet generation. We were expected just to go to school and study. But on February 1st, 1960, in the city of Greensboro, North Carolina, 4 freshman students from North Carolina A&T College, an historically black college, decided that they would sit in at the lunch counter in the downtown Woolworth store and would not leave until they were served. Influenced by early events and speeches, especially by Martin Luther King Jr. and the actions of Rosa Parks and the Montgomery, Alabama bus boycott, as well as the idea of nonviolence action advocated by Mahatma Gandhi, they had enough of being able to sit and not be served in restaurants. They and their fellow students continued the sit-in for months. But this was not to be a local sit-in. From Greensboro, the student sit-in movement spread like wildfire throughout the South, led by students at scores of black colleges. And it captured the imagination of young people and adults throughout the country. In Ann Arbor, in the spring of 1960, students demonstrated by walking down State Street in support of the sit-ins and picketed the local Kresge store, which had the same policies as Woolworth. At the same time, Tom Hayden was writing major editorials in the Daily about the need for students to be more active, reminding students of the Greensboro sit-ins and the actions of students at other campuses. And Sharon Jeffrey, the daughter of Millie Jeffrey, Kennedy's campaign manager for the state of Michigan, was a student activist on the Michigan campus, and she was instrumental in keeping her mother informed of how students were responding to Kennedy. And then there were the countries throughout the world, particularly in Africa, where young African leaders were starting to lead their countries and throwing off European colonial control. Indeed, the torch was being passed to a new generation. In the United States, this was particularly emphasized in the presidential campaign of a young, inspiring president and the civil rights movement. The role of the students at the University of Michigan in the creation of the Peace Corps is a wonderful and important story, but it would not have happened, I believe, without those 4 courageous students in North Carolina who decided they were going to change the society in which they lived. I'm indeed proud of what the students of the University of Michigan did in October 1960 in stimulating the creation of the Peace Corps. We did choose to make a difference. We did feel we were part of the passing of the torch to a new generation, and we did choose to serve. But who could have thought that 4 freshman students in North Carolina A&T would have been a major force in the civil rights movement? And who would have thought that a few students at the University of Michigan could in 3 weeks influence a president to create a Peace Corps? But the reality is that many significant changes begin this way. People who want to make a difference and have the courage to act. To quote anthropologist Margaret Mead, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing it ever has. Now it is up to a new generation who we saw today to make a difference, Today's students are much more active than we were in 1960 in social, political, environmental programs that changed the course of this nation. A good example is students and young people of this country organized with many of us in older generations to elect another young and inspiring president, this time the first African-American president. But elections are one thing. Keeping the faith over time is another. I never doubt that a small group can change the world, but the key to success is not giving up. The key is perseverance in the face of opposition. Kennedy challenged the students in 1960, and the students responded and persevered. That is why there is a peace group. Thank you.